Good morning, folks. It's your old Uncle Jason here, serving you up some spiritual breakfast from Our Daily Bread. So let's get into it, shall we? This is a good one today. Today's Bible reading is taken from the book of Ruth, chapter 2, verses 11 and 12, and chapter 3, verses 1 through 6. And this is for Wednesday, June 12, 2024. And Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thine husband. And thou hast left thy father and thy mother, and the land of thy nativity, and art come unto a people which art knowest not heretofore. The Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee in the Lord God of Israel under those wings who thou art come to trust. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? And now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou wast? Behold, he when thou ith barley tonight in the threshing floor. Wash thyself therefore, and anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee, and get thee down to the floor. But make not thyself known unto the man, until he shall have done eating and drinking. And it shall be when he lieth down, that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie, and thou shalt go in and uncover his feet, and lay thee down, and he shall tell thee what thou shalt do. And when she said unto her, All that thou sayest unto me I will do. And she went down unto the floor, and did according to all her mother-in-law bade her. Now that's some good word this morning, folks. And I'll explain a little bit more about the significance of the story of Ruth and Naomi after the article. The article today is entitled Learning from Each Other, is written by Katara Patton. Years before Zoom was an accessible communication tool, a friend asked me to join her on a video call to discuss a project. Through the tone of my emails, she could tell I was baffled, so she suggested I find a teenager to help me figure out how to set up a video call. Her suggestion points to the value of intergenerational relationships. It's something observed in Ruth and Naomi's story. Ruth is often celebrated for being a loyal daughter-in-law, deciding to leave her land to accompany Naomi back to Bethlehem. When they arrived in the town, the younger woman said to Naomi, Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain. She helped the older woman, who then helped the younger woman marry Boaz. Naomi's advice for Ruth prompted Boaz to take action in purchasing her deceased in-law's property and to take her as his wife. We certainly respect the advice of those who share their seasoned wisdom with younger generations, but Ruth and Naomi remind us that the exchange goes both ways. There's something to be learned from those younger than us, as well as those who are older. Let's seek to develop a loving and loyal intergenerational relationship. It will bless us and others and help us learn something we don't know. Now this is for the younger folks. Listen to your elders. Learn from them. Pick their minds, because their life could serve as a foundation for your life. If you have a foundation for your life, once you add your experiences onto it, you'll be able to grow far better than the previous generation. That way, they that fail to learn the lessons of the past are doomed to repeat them. Now for the older generation. Sometimes it takes a pair of fresh eyes looking at a situation to make the path clear. Now, you know as well as I do that oftentimes if you stare at something long enough, your mind filters out things and puts it through the filter set. And we only see what we see because we only see what we have seen. A pair of fresh eyes that's never seen what we were looking at, a simple question could get you thinking from a different angle, adds a different perspective. The old saying, the untrained advice is often wisest. So I encourage both young and old to listen to one another. Respect each other, obviously, but understand that the difference between human beings, the only thing that is truly significant between two individuals, is perspective. Doesn't matter if you're what color you are, don't matter where you hail from, doesn't matter about your family background. The only thing that matters and the only thing that truly can bring everybody together is understanding that perspective is the only difference that really matters. And we can use that to grow. And perspective can take many forms. It can take the form of life experience, simple observation, maybe even an anecdotal quote that they've heard some time ago that could easily help you with your situation. Whatever the case might be, perspective is what matters between two people. Now, the second thing about the story of Naomi and Ruth is that Boaz is symbolic for Christ, because Boaz at the time was known as a redeemer of the people. His job was to maintain a measure of wealth so that he could then purchase land from folks that were either struggling or had lost it due to poverty and bring it back into the fold. That is what Christ did for us. He purchased, dang flies. Anyway, he purchased us when he died on that cross. He was the redeemer of the people. And what Boaz did is that he purchased the dead in-law's land and brought it back into the fold. Because to the Jewish people, selling your land is a last resort. If you don't have land, you are poor. And also, I will tell you this, I encourage you to seek out a Jewish brother or sister and pick the brains about the Old Testament, because they have a better perspective on it than what we Christians do. And understand that Judaism and Christianity are siblings. Jewish people believe that the Messiah is yet to come, where Christians believe that the Messiah will come again. They are basically one and the same. The only difference is one studies both the Old and New Testament, the one simply does the Old. A difference in perspective. And I encourage you to have a civil conversation with these people, because you never know. They might be the reason they come to Christ. You never know. And at the end of the day, you both walk away with a better perspective of one another. And that's what it's all about. Building relationships, spreading the word of Christ, and growing towards the Lord. Now, I encourage you today to remember that perspective is everything. I encourage you to approach one another with this in mind. I'll tell you a little story. Whenever I was up and coming in the world of martial arts, Taekwondo as the discipline was known, I met I'm not sure what rank he was, but he was considered a respected master of the craft. And me being a simple white belt, and if you know anything about Taekwondo, the white belt is the lowest rank that you can have. And once you get your black belt, that's whenever your training truly begins. But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, I was a simple white belt, fresh off the signing of the application, first day in the class. And you know what he said? When we squared up, he asked me a simple question. What can you teach me today? Now, I was flabbergasted because me being a fresh student, I was considering he should be able to teach me. But there was a lesson in that simple question, that even somebody who's dedicated his life to a discipline, he was still open-minded to learn from somebody who had not touched it. Now, mind you, I was fresh out of the military, so combat skills was just a little bit more fine-tuned than somebody who was fresh off the street. But nevertheless, when it comes to the discipline of Taekwondo, I was a fish out of water. This dang fly. Sorry, folks. I was a fish out of water. But at the end of the day, I walked away from that. I don't even remember how the fight went. All I know is I took that one question and applied it to my life. So, older folks, whenever you approach a young'un, ask yourself, what can this young one teach me? And same way with you young'uns. Ask yourself, what can they teach me? What can I teach them? Both questions need to be asked, folks, and I encourage you to do so today as you go about your life. But as you go about your life, remember that it's all about Christ and His glory and bringing people to His kingdom. Christ and Him crucified, Him risen again for the sins of humanity. That's what it's all about. So, folks, I encourage you to be blessed today, and remember, I'm pulling for you, and I'm praying for you, because we're all in this together. I want to thank you for listening today. I know it's a little bit long-winded, but there was a good many lessons in this particular segment of Our Daily Bread. And I encourage you to like and share the video, subscribe and share the channel. And hit up my PayPal if the Lord's leading you. It's in the description of the video, and it's also in the bio. I take nothing from myself. It all goes to the ministry. And what I don't use for the ministry goes to the church. If you got any prayer requests, put it in the comments. If you got any prayer requests that you don't want anybody to know about, you can hit up my email. It's also in the bio, and it's also in the description of the video. And it's hooked up to my phone, so if you day or night you want to reach out, by all means reach out. I'll get back to you one way or the other. So folks, I appreciate you being with me this far, and for those that are new to the channel, I welcome you, and I hope to see y'all again. And until we meet again, stay safe, stay blessed, and as always, stay in the shadow of the Almighty. This is your old Uncle Jason signing off.